Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Ask Jun the Groomer Live. Today is February 4th, Saturday, February 4th, 2017. Oh, what is this? Let's get started. Oh my goodness, I had zero time to prepare. I'm actually late because just everything going on. So let me just, you know what? A lot of questions about the brushing and everything these days. Oh, and so I'm just gonna address that because here's a message even that I haven't been able to reply to yet, but I guess I'll reply to after this. But it's by a lady who owns a Star Canine Spa in Birmingham, UK, United Kingdom. Oh, awesome. So she's saying, "Hi, June. I am 6 months into my grooming business and love it. I have had a young Westie come in with such soft cotton wool coat that owners want clipped. You take to such a coat? Thank you, Julie, at a Star Canine Spa in Birmingham, UK." That's the thing. If it's a soft cotton woolly coat, a Westie really shouldn't be like that. Not soft cottony woolly. That's more Coton de Tuileries, or de Tuileries. But for a Westie, it really should be more, like it should have more of a drop coat, like, or I mean, not woolly and soft. And if it's woolly and soft, it's probably a lot of dead undercoat. And so the secondary hairs, those softer, fine, flimsy hairs, they turn more cottony and woolly, and they fray and they start to clump together. And let's say I comb it all out. I get that all combed out, like, separated at least, not out of the skin, but just kind of separated so they're not so clumped together. By washing and drying, pretty much. Let's say I don't do any kind of prep, I don't brush, I don't comb, I don't do any of that. I just put that Westie, that soft, cottony, woolly coat Westie, and then, with the force dryer, blow everything, and then, just slicker brush. Just say I do that. When I go through with the clippers, unless I use like a 7 or maybe a 5, it's gonna catch. If you put like a 10 blade and you put like a 1 guard, which is like a 1/2 inch, or a O comb, which is like 5/8 of an inch. If you use those comb guards, it's not really going to go through. It's going to keep catching, and your clipper is going to keep kind of catching, and not cutting the hair. It'll start like tugging the hair a little bit, because that hair tip well is going to get caught in between the cutting blade and the clippers. So the best way is to cart it out. And I like the Kill King. It kind of looks like a little bear claw like that. And you just kind of rake it all out. You rake it out. And when you rake it out, you'll see like so much white dander. It's like white dandery, just crud that comes out of their skin. And all of that stuff, you'll just see it like dandruff, just coming out. And all of that stuff is like locked in those pores. Forget about the hair for a moment. See, and that's the thing. I think that the grooming industry for so long has focused so much only on the hair, and we're focusing on what these shampoos do for the hair and how to style the hair. We're not thinking about the skin, and that's what really my focus is skincare. I do a good haircut. I try, because I don't want people to say, well, that's why he focuses on the skin. He can't do a good haircut. That's why he's like always talking about the skin, I don't want people to say that. So I do try to do a very good haircut. My focus really is on the skin. My priority is the skincare, and then hairstyling is my second priority. But yeah, like really what I would do, I'm not sure if you guys follow me on Instagram, but I posted an Instagram video yesterday, and my wife was like, you actually took the time to, like form a dog. I was like, it didn't take any time. I just had to like just kind of rearrange it. It was already on the table, but I did a quick little clip on Instagram showing how much hair came out of this little. And you would never think that that much hair would come out of this little dog, and there would still be hair on the dog to clip later, But yeah, it's like all of that fine brittle hair. It feels brittle to the touch. It's grainy. It doesn't feel smooth and silky like the live hairs do. So I would get all of that out. That's what I would do. And that's just me personally. If you're asking, if that Westie came to me, I would spend a good about 2 hours probably. It would probably take me 2 hours. Not because dog, but the very opposite is because I'm taking my time and just doing like small gentle strokes and taking it out slowly. Because if you guys follow Christina Pawlowski, she actually with Judy Hudson started a Facebook page called Grooming Professors. If you guys haven't, Grooming Professors with Christina Pawlowski and Judy Hudson, and they're putting out these like, you know, little informational, educational videos every day. So if you don't have time to go out to these seminars, then you know you can just get it online like this. And Christina Pawlowski, she's always talking about the skin. Be gentle with the skin. You know, you don't want to cause too much like into the skin. So even when we're carting out, and especially when you're getting that much hair out of the dog, and I'll be honest, the owner, you know, texted me last night. She was saying that the rear left leg, or I think the rear right leg, there's a little spot where it's bleeding, and he keeps licking at it, and it's red, and there's a little rash on his tummy, you know, because and there was lots of little small red areas, little red dots, where there was so much like not just dead hair, like bundles of dead hair that came out with the comb, but also just powdery, white, powdery, dusty kind of skin crud, pretty much, you know, cellular buildup, skin dander was coming out in those areas. And so those pockets of skin that was kind of getting really built up, those pores that were getting so backed up, when I released it, because it was already so full, so we're seeing like the bruising that kind of happened. But to leave it, to not do that, you know, and also if you think about it, if you guys saw the video, the amount of hair that came out, if that right rear leg and that little one spot is the only thing that happened, that's quite an accomplishment in my opinion, you know, because a lot of hair came out, and a lot of hair had to come out because the feel is just different. I can feel the difference. It's just brittle, nasty hair, and there would be no use washing him in it because it's pretty much. And you always hear me refer to dirty gym socks. But anyways, oh, perfect. We have some questions coming on. Terrelyn Jackson, thanks so much for sharing, June. Oh, you're welcome. How are you? Coco the toy poodle. Hey, Coco, how are you? She says, hi, finally made it for your live video. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining. Ava Walling, hi, I love watching your videos. Has helped me with my shit. Perfect. I'm so glad it helps you with your Shih Tzu. And here's the thing. It's all about the combing. And I know everyone, like, you know, says brush. And even me, I say brush more, bathe less, because everybody understands, oh, like we have to brush our dogs, brush your horses, brush our own hair, you know, things like that. But we never really think about combing, and it's with the metal combs. You can't use a plastic comb. A metal comb is going to get right there to the skin level and kind of break up the old layer of crusted oils and sebum, and well, sebum is the oil, but you know, like the crusty old skin cells, the dead skin cells, and all of that stuff is going to kind of break it and release it and clear it out. And not just that, but it's going to get the oils that are coming out of the skin, the fresh oils, and distribute it, you know, the hairs throughout the coat. And by me growing, so I'm growing my hair out, and I'm growing my facial hair out, and my mom hates it. My wife hates it. My kids just told me that they want me to shave it all off. Nobody's supportive about my new idea, my new venture. But I told my wife it's for research, because I thought all my life I thought those guys like Harley Davidsons and, you know, like Duck Dynasty, you know, those long facial hair and long hair. I thought they were lazy. You know, I just thought that they were unkept and they didn't take care of themselves. And that's, you know, I couldn't be further from the truth. It's actually a lot of work. It takes a lot of maintenance. And now I have like the special, because I've always had really thin scalp. So but now it kind of covers it up. So I've been using this shampoo that has biotin and collagen in it. And I learned from Michelle Knowles that long-haired dogs need more collagen, right? And I was like, well, I want to grow my hair long, so maybe collagen will help. And on the bottle it says that this special formulation of collagen and biotin will, in these vitamins, will help texturize my hair and make it look more full, and it will make my hair look more volumized, it'll make it look thicker and fuller. I was like, perfect. So I have the shampoo and the conditioner, and I have an oil mist, right? So I oil my hair morning and evening, make sure there's a nice layer of oil on there to protect it and, keep it moisturized and healthy, strengthen it, here. I could never grow this before, not only because I didn't have this connecting here and I just had little spots here and there. It was never like this. Not only that, but once it came in, whenever I did try to grow it out, it would get really itchy, just itchy, and I would get bumps, and I realized I had to, when I researched it, I Googled it, and I also went to Walmart and started looking at these different creams, and oils for your beards. And yeah, you have to keep it oiled. So I have a beard and scruff cream that I use, and I, work it in there, and I brush it. I got a bristle brush, and now that I keep my facial hair oiled and brushed, it's comfortable. It doesn't itch. It feels nice and soft. It doesn't look messy. And actually, even food and everything just kind of slides off, And same thing with our dogs. And it was saying that in cold weather especially, it's because our skin gets dry, it gets itchy, and it starts to get, clogged. The pores get clogged and everything and infected. And same thing with the dogs. So when it gets cold, now that, it's wintertime, our dog's skin is getting dry. So rather than wash them, just like our skin, we want to oil, make sure we get some conditions, co-conditioners. So we want to add oils, collagen, minerals, things like that, vitamins that's going to strengthen their skin and their hair. And we want to brush it so that we not only stimulate the skin and get it working and get the blood flowing, but also we're going to distribute the oils evenly throughout the hair and keep it nice and protected. That way, when your dog goes out and poos, it won't get dingleberries. See, the reason why dingleberries form is because the poo is catching on these fuzzy, brittle, dead hairs, and they hold on to it, and then you get these little dingleberries on the back of your dog's butt, And so, but the live hairs, just like the food slides off of my facial hair when I'm eating, the poo and everything slides off of these live hairs because they're sealed and they have oil on them. So it really, I'm like, I use it as an excuse, but I'm learning so much. This is really kind of like personal research, and now that I'm learning more about my skin and my hair on my face, on my head, everything, and also I'm gonna look like a samurai pretty soon. Let's see here. Giselle, but Ava Walling, thank you so much for the Shizu comment that got me off on that tangent, Giselle in blue. Hey, how are you, Giselle in blue? Ava Walling, she says hi, perfect. Hi. Before I get carried away here on too many tangents, Andrea BRDA, Andrea Berta. Hi, June. Can you talk a little bit about essential oils and dogs? Oh my goodness. You know what? One of my really, really good friends, colleagues, mentor, her name is Melissa Conti Diener, I think. But anyway, Melissa, she has a blog called, I think it's Groomology. Anyways, I'll put it in the description because this description, I'll kind of add notes to it later. I was in such a hurry. I was just like, let's get this going. But she has a blog and she has courses and online courses on essential oils. I'm going to see if I can get her on this show one day, Q&A, maybe through the phone, kind of like I did with the authors, the psychiatrists I had on the show. But as far as essential oils, what I do know as just general rules of thumb, less is more, so you never want to do too much, because actually sometimes we can actually poison the dogs with certain oils. Lavender even could cause like the dog to just kind of, you know, go into like a stroke or something, you know, just go limp. So less is more with oils. You want to use light oils, natural oils, plant or animal based. And let's see. Yeah, and other than that, I mean, and you know, with Google these days, oh my goodness, you just, okay, Google, you know, you can really look up anything. So, but yeah, and you know what? Another thing, I've heard that rosemary oil. No, was it rosemary? I think it was rosemary oil, or was it oregano oil? One of those herbs, they found out that the oil is more potent in killing bacteria than penicillin and amoxicillin. But anyways, but yeah, Andrea, Berta, you know, oils and dogs, just less is more. That's why, and you want to use light oils, and that's why coconut oil, I don't really recommend it or suggest it. I'm not a big fan of coconut oils for their skin. I hear it's great to put in their food, but to put on the dog's skin, coconut oil can be kind of heavy. And also, never use Vaseline. This is really important. I'm glad this came up. Michelle Knowles, she teaches the skin esthetician course with Yves Saint Bernard, and that's isbusa.com. But they're out in Cave Creek, Arizona. And what I learned from her there was that petroleum oil belongs in the ground or in machinery, but never on a dog's skin. What it does is it clogs the pores, suffocates the pores, and eventually it'll be like it'll just be smooth skin because there's no hair growing because the pores are now dead. And it can cause like burns, third-degree burns and things like that, especially if the skin is irritated and kind of red and inflamed. Inflammation, if the skin is already inflamed and you put Vaseline on it, it causes more inflammation. But she's saying petroleum jelly is just such a terrible idea to put on even our own skin. So, and I remember as a child, I always suffered from dry, cracked lips. And we would always put Vaseline on my lips and everything. Who knew that was making it worse, you know? But anyways, yeah, don't ever put Vaseline on a dog, ever, for any reason. And I hear some people like put Vaseline on their ears, you know, in the bulldog's folds to keep it, you know, moisturized. Use natural essential oils. And it's best to use 100% certified organic. And that's what you want to look for, certified organic. Or just 100% all natural. That's the only ingredient. But just, you know, you don't want to go to Sally's and pick up the Moroccan oil. I made that mistake. And went to Sally's and picked up the Moroccan argan oil for our hair. And I looked at the back, and there's so many more different ingredients in there that, you know, it's probably not pH balanced for the dog's skin. And so we don't want to be using it for the dog's skin if we're not sure it's really going to be helping, because the dogs are never going to come up to you and say, hey, this kind of stinging, you know, the stuff that you put on my ears is kind of stinging right now. You know, they're not going to tell you that. You might just start, you know, doing like this and stuff like that, you know, or, I mean, sometimes they just take it. They're just like, all right, well, I guess this is life, you know. Like you could tell, you can picture like those bloodhounds, you know, those droopy eyes. This is just my life, you know. Anyways, is it Giulin? Giulin 58. Okay, I'm just gonna take a stab at it. Gulin 58. So let me. Oh, swallowed too fast. Hi, Jun. I love your videos. Start a dog grooming business, but I first want to know how to make my 3-month-old poodle stay while I cut the hair that is covering her eyes. I've been getting this question so much that I actually put up a video of this Yorkie that was like fussing while I was doing the eyes, and I showed it there. Also, I show in the video where I do a dog named Sunshine, and the video is called, it's a series, it's like a 3-part series. The dog I couldn't groom the first time, You know, you'll see how I trim in between the eyes and everything with the dog like that. That's fussy. But really, first you just got to keep yourself calm, and you really have to just make sure you're not the one that's jumpy and like, you know, even though they jump, you just got to stay completely calm, just planted, you know, and then just visualize and imagine, because I know visualize is getting kind of tacky. That word is getting kind of tacky these days because everyone's using it. So more just imagine, you know, just picture yourself doing it well. You know, see yourself doing it well, and see yourself just, no matter what this dog is doing, just like a boss, you know, boom, like a boss, you know, just getting it done, right? See yourself doing it. And then just take a deep breath and just really just get into like a zone and just do it, you know? And I always say, don't do it unless you're going to do it. Then just do it. And that's my philosophy on life pretty much. Don't do it unless you're going to do it, then just do it, right? Don't ask for permission. Don't ask if, you know, don't get like a consensus of everyone, what their opinions are of what this is. If you're going to do it, just do it, you know? And I'm not saying don't take advice, of course, but I'm just saying don't be hesitant if you're going to do something. Especially work around a dog that's not really cooperating for the eyes. You don't want to be hesitant. And also there's the Yorkie, Harley, the aggressive Yorkie, you know, in that video. And you know what? I'll make a short clip of that too. Because I've been making like little snippets to kind of answer people's questions, but I'll do a little snippet of that where I explain, if you're going to touch a dog like this, you just got to touch them. You can't do it hesitantly. You can't do it nervously. You just got to do it, you know, like it's no big deal. And that's how you get in that no reaction. But really good question. I'm really glad you asked that. But I guess just really calm yourself and breathe through your belly. There's a book called The Full Catastrophe Living. But in that book, Full Catastrophe Living, they explain how breathing through your belly helps keep yourself calm and centered no matter what's going on. I mean, there could be a catastrophe. Life is a catastrophe pretty much, and it's happening all around us. And in order to stay centered, we have to breathe through our belly, because he's saying it's kind of like breathing through our chest. You know, he's saying that's kind of like standing at the edge of the beach where the tide's coming in and the waves are crashing in. He's saying that's where all the chaos is happening, right? But if you go in deeper, you know, if you go in deeper towards the ocean, then it's more just a swell. You know, it's not these big crashing waves down at the beach. So, and that's like breathing through your belly. So he's saying when we go deeper and breathe through our belly, then we're able to stay calm no matter what the dog's doing. So, and that's how I interpret it. You know, that's not in the book, but that's what I got out of the book. But anyways, thank you so much for that question. Fairy tale plans. Hi, June. Are you going to be at Groom Expo West this February? No. I'm booked out till March, and I actually scheduled around Atlanta Pet Fair, which is happening like the first week of March, the first weekend. Or I think it's the second. I gotta look at my calendar. But anyways, I'm gonna be at Atlanta Pet Fair. And I scheduled around that, but I'm booked out till March. Like March is almost full. We're taking April now. So yeah, I mean, I just don't have I don't have time this year, but maybe next year. Maybe next year I can actually go to the Groom Expo West, because I've always wanted to go, and you know, I mean, a great excuse to visit California, right? So maybe next year, Fairy Tale Plans. That would be awesome if I could go. Hey, Daniel Brown from New Zealand, right? New Zealand. Christy Hutchinson. This stream is coming in at the perfect time. My miniature schnauzer is scratching and pulling her hair. She has some bald spots on her back. The more I look, is flaky and dry skin. Help. Okay. What product should I be looking for? Okay, so for the flaky and dry skin, you want to look for some, I say, argan oil would probably be the best bet. Or you know what? There's a product called Mauro, 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 and it's a spray, leave-in conditioning spray, right? And I wish I had the bottle. And you know what? I'll put a link to it on the descriptions. But Mauro, they have this leave-in conditioning spray. I love it. But you want to do, you know, have some sort of like really good moisturizing um, oil-based conditioner that you want to that you can leave in the skin, a light, you know, light layer just all throughout. And you want to get what I would do is get a Greyhound comb, miniature schnauzer, a Greyhound comb, um, slicker brush, definitely slicker brush, and I would probably slicker first because what the slicker brush is gonna do, the slicker brush is gonna break up all of that clumpy dead hair, and also it's gonna kind of break up that top layer of just crusty, nasty, dandery, powdery stuff that's inside the skin. And on the surface of the skin, we just can't see it. So once it breaks it up, then we start seeing all these flakes, right? And so I would probably break everything up with the slicker brush first. And you might get this reaction from the dog, or even, it's okay. It's because it's already, their skin is already uncomfortable and it's already feeling tight, you know? So those areas of skin are, you know, already giving it some problems. And so when we start to go in there and start brushing it out, you know, you know, and sometimes dogs love it. Sometimes you'll get this, you know, that reaction. Well, they'll start like, you know, itching out of habit, you know, like a reflex, you know. Sometimes you'll get you know, but if you just calmly work through it, let them know, I'm supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be doing this. This is gonna help you. You know, you can even say it to them, you know, so that they can kind of get the vibe. And I would brush them off first, head to toe. And with the slicker brush, that might take about 30, 40 minutes, depending, you know, but let's just say they're not in that bad shape. Head to toe, about 30 minutes. And then I would probably follow that up with the Greyhound comb, use the white side first, and then go to the thinner side, the finer side. And then I would probably follow that up with the Greyhound, with the Coat King, and that's the bear claw tool, you know, but it's called the Coat King, and you just want to use that and kind of rake it through the coat, right? And in small strokes, little mini strokes, you know. You don't want to just, you know, just kind of strip the dog down, you know. That's why I don't like the term stripping, you know, because it's just, you're just stripping that coat. No, work in little, and that's why I'm like this. You know, I'm like, you know, these mini strokes. So people think like, oh my goodness, you know, he's really, no. Because I'm doing little gentle tugs, but very quickly, and I'm going all, and that's why I'm sweating, you know. But that's what I do, and then I clear the coat out, and then maybe one final go through with the Greyhound comb, and then if you want to wash them after that, you know, that's probably the perfect time to wash them. But usually with my dog Weemy, who is a Shih Tzu Maltese mix, his pores get bumpy, his skin gets bumpy, tiny little bumps everywhere. It kind of feels grainy, and you would miss it if you weren't really looking for it, you know. But then when I brush and comb it all out and get it all out, you know, and he looks clean. The coat looks white. The white parts look white, and the black parts look black, and he looks great, and he smells good. And I'm like, you know what? I'm good. I'm done. I don't want to wash you, you know. But if you wanted to wash them, that would be the perfect time. Is after you get them all, after you get the clear pores all cleared out. Fairy tale plans. I loved your book. Whoa, thank you. I'm so glad you liked it. I loved your book, by the way. Is the Business of Grooming book you mentioned in there out or coming out? Okay. And that was when I thought I was doing pretty good and finally getting everything good. And then I moved out to Arizona, and then, you know, had the flop in Utah. And, well, had the experience, a really good learning experience. And I made some great friends out there too. So Utah, and now I'm back here, you know, and now I'm doing this home, you know, what you call that, house call grooming. And so, yeah, I mean, I guess the book is, I'm working on it, I guess. I mean, I'm doing like in the field research at the moment. And, you know, once I get like a school, I guess, and everything, maybe then, you know, I'll come out with that book. But I don't know. And the thing is, I don't even know what's stopping me from writing the Business of Grooming, because my original idea for the book, The Business of Grooming, more a philosophical approach, a business philosophy, meaning a way to think and a way to approach grooming and making money, earning money from grooming and being successful at it. And you know, I just feel like it would be a little bit presumptuous, maybe a little bit audacious, like to write a book like that, being so young and still going through the experiences I'm going through. So let's just say that I'm keeping a journal of everything and just kind of keeping a mental log. And probably going to come out. I mean, no, you know what? I like to keep my promises. So the book is going to come out. When the book is going to come out, I don't know. And even after it comes out, I may even be like revising it and making new additions to it, because I'm constantly working on business skills and business strategies and coming, like how to really build a good business plan and things like that. And I have some great mentors that are helping me. So I feel like I'm still in college pretty much. And then when I'm ready to, I guess I'll write that thesis, and finally graduate. But yeah, thank you so much for mentioning that. Oh my goodness, that's amazing that you even read the book. I get a kick out of it because when we were when my mentor and I were kind of talking and going through ideas about the book, brainstorming, he told me just flat out, nobody's gonna read it. Nobody cares about your book, Oh man, but he wasn't saying to put me down. I think he was telling me that more to just take the pressure off, just write the book. Nobody's gonna read it, more like that. But anyways, Daniel Brown, it's sunny cool here in New Zealand. Wow, it's actually cold here. Every time I say, like, wow, it's really nice and sunny. It's sunny, but it's kind of cold now. So getting the nice cold winter weather in. Giselle and Blue, I'm glad to make it your live stream. You're a help to my dog Blue. Awesome. And is your dog Blue? Let's see. Let me see here. Oh, I can't click the. Anyways, Giselle and Blue, thank you so much. I'm so glad that I'm helpful. Through all my going off on tangents and rambling, I'm sure I'm really happy that you're able to grab some little bits of information that help. Monica, hey June, how are you? How are you, Monica? Alan Powell, wow, Alan Powell. Thank you for making time to come on the show. And I mean that seriously because I know you're busy. Alan Powell, I like to consider myself the Bob Ross of grooming. And I've been trying to figure out, like what, because everyone's saying like you're like the Zen of grooming, I guess, like, but wouldn't it be cool if I could be like the hip hop? No, but I couldn't pull off that look. I don't know. We'll see. Kathy Brennan, hi June, thanks for taking questions. Do you have a good trick to doing nails? I hate to simply grab the muzzle and go. I have a dog who stresses to the max over his nails. Is there any? And Kathy Brennan says, Hatboro, Pennsylvania. Hatboro, Pennsylvania. Wow. Love that you are starting your grooming tips. Thank you so much. Awesome. And Kathy Brennan, this might sound really crazy to you. And I am in no way telling you to do this, okay? Because I don't want to be responsible for somebody seriously getting hurt. And don't think that it hasn't crossed my mind that I could possibly seriously get hurt, because I am a sane human being. I am a rational human being, right? Well, I like to think so. The majority of the time. But here's the thing. When a dog, I don't muzzle the dogs when I'm doing their nails, unless they really get me, or they show that I'm serious, then I'll muzzle them. But most of the times, they're just bluffing and they really don't want to bite you. And if they do bite, they're going to bite the nail clippers instead. So let's just say I'm doing a dog that's biting, right? He's biting. I will let him bite me. I'll let him, put his mouth right there, and I'll just stay completely calm. And I'll just breathe. And I'll just tell him, like, hey, buddy, you're all right. Here's the nail clippers. And I'll let him know, like explain it to him. And I really have to give credit where credit's due. There's a girl named Allie. She's one of the trainers that used to work. I don't think she works there anymore, but she used to work at Canine Lifeline, where I used to work in Utah. So that's where we met. But Allie, she was just so helpful, gave me so many good tips and advice about dog training, dog behavior, how to handle them, things like that. But she was telling me about a technique called name and explain. And name and explain is was taught to them by a lady named Casey Cover. And Casey Cover, she works with like all kinds of animals, and she kind of helps, you know, with training and things like that. But name and explain, basically you name the tool, you show it to the animal, or you know, in this case the dog, and you explain what it is. You say, this is a nail clipper, I'm going to touch your nail with it. And then, you know, they're like, you know, it's okay, I'm going to touch your nail with the nail clipper. You know, you know, it's like, and then I touch it, and that's it, I just touch it. And then just, you know, wait for them, and then, you know, and that's it. And I'm like, good touch. And I'll let and because they're sometimes fighting, and then I wait for them to be calm, and then I'll let their paw go, right? And this is the thing, I asked Allie, I was like, Allie, most dog groomers, you know, we're in a time limit, you know, we don't have a lot of time. And so when the dog finally calms down and he's not pulling his foot, that would be the perfect time to clip, right? And she was like, no, because what you're teaching that dog is when they're finally calm, they're gonna get the nail clip, which is what they don't want. They really want you to just let go of their paw. So she was like, when they're calm, as soon as you get as soon as they stop fighting even for a second, good, and you let their paw go. That way they learn by the release of pressure that you know, when I'm calm, when I don't fight, I get what I want, right? So I was like, wow, this is kind of mind-boggling stuff, right? I was like, I would have never thought to do that. As a dog groomer, I would have never thought to do that, because I got to get this done. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's get these nails done. I got a lot of other stuff to do, and I got other dogs to do, right? And that's kind of where I'm coming from as a dog groomer. But as a dog trainer, as a dog behaviorist, just like, no, they don't learn from pressure. They learn from the release of pressure, right? So they don't learn from the tugging of the leash. They learn from when you're not tugging. So oh, what I did just there caused the release of pressure. So I do that a couple times, right? And that way they learn to trust me. I say, okay, good touch. And I pick up their paw again. You might get the fight. And then as soon as they stop fighting, touch. Oh, you know, and then just wait for them to be calm. Good. And you do that again. And then a little bit less of a fight. Touch. Good touch. And maybe even touch again. Good touch, you know, and then let go. And then finally you get to the point where I'm going to clip, okay? And then good touch. And now we're going to clip and clip. And then they're going to, when you clip, they're going to, you know, they'll freak out. And then, you know, just wait, you know, don't let go of their paw. And then you release when they stop fighting. And you do that. And I know that this sounds like, oh my goodness, I don't have all day to do this dog's nails, you know? But I mean, trust me, you only do that for the first paw or two. And after you do like 2 paws, the third paw, there's less of a fight. The fourth paw, there's almost no fight. And then when that dog comes back, there's almost no issue at all for the nails, you know, and maybe not the second visit, but definitely by the third visit, you know, because now it's become, you've gained their trust, you've earned it. So when a dog trusts you, they trust you. They're not like human beings. They don't say, oh my goodness, I trust you with my life, and then go beyond, I don't really trust them, you know. Dogs are not like that. They either trust you or they don't. And if they trust you, they trust you, and they will let you do anything to them. But that's the thing, it's really hard to get their trust, because usually we're not trusting and we can't let go of the past, you know, and we remember the bad times where they really bit hard and things like that, and we can't let go of it. And so we're tentative, we're hesitant and fearful, and they feel that. And so they feel distrust coming from us. So, you know, they have no option but to kind of give it back, you know, because they don't trust us anymore, because we don't trust them. So I know this is crazy. And again, Kathy, what was it? Kathy Brennan, I wouldn't, I'm not telling you to do this, but I'm just letting you know that this has worked for me on several different occasions, several different cases, several different dogs, all aggressive for the nails, and it always works. I let them do whatever they need to do. I let them blow up, and then as soon as they calm down, I let go. And I keep doing that a few times until they trust me to touch, until they trust me to grab their paw and do that. And then I start to work the clips, and that's how I do that. And you would be surprised how effective it is when we actually stop talking to the dogs and we start communicating with them. So you stop requesting from the dogs verbally, like, stop that, let me just clip your nails, please stay still for me, please, can you please stay still? None of that's going to work. We just, with our body language, we just have to communicate with them. Hey, I know you're scared, but this is just going to happen. I'm not going to hurt you, and just do it. And that's pretty much the way I do it. And I hope that helps. I hope that helps. Maybe give you some ideas of the ways you can approach it. But Kathy from Hatboro, Pennsylvania, thank you so much for that question. Before I ramble on too much, Giselle and Blue, my dog is a lab mix. Okay. Sorry about that. I was like, oh, I hope I don't get caught. Giselle and Blue, thank you so much. Your lab mix, Blue. Daniel Brown, June, love how live today. Awesome. I guess it's a good stream. And here's the thing. I'm having the messages in the chat on another computer, and I'm just doing the live feed on my laptop. So I think that's kind of helping with the speed and everything. Alan Powell. Oh, perfect. Alan Powell. I pet the dog with the clippers, starting from the area they're comfortable with and work down towards the paws little by little. Then do practice touches until I can line up and cut and execute. The goal is to get them to hand the paw over like a shake. Perfect. And Kathy says, awesome. Reverse psychology. Love it. Thank you so much for the advice. And that's the thing. It's like, I love it. I love that too, because you're starting in areas with that they're comfortable with, and you're showing them that these clippers are not dangerous. They're not something bad. You're associating with something positive, giving a positive association. And then you're working it down to the areas they're not comfortable with slowly. And then, finally you little by little, and then do practice touches. Exactly, kind of like the name and explain idea. Touch, practice touches, and then, boom. And then finally when you cut it and you do a few nails and this dog realizes, wait a minute, this guy knows what he's doing, they trust you, especially if you have that touch, if you have that calm, cool, collected touch where you like a boss, pretty much. How else can you explain it? Like a boss. Kathy Brennan, great advice, Alan, too. Yes, Alan, and that's why I was like, wow, Alan joined the show, because he always has great advice. But anyways, 251. Any other questions or anything? Oh, you know what? There's a friend of mine, Jessica Terranova Finch. She's a groomer out in Utah. She said, she was telling me, oh, I'll try to make the show. If I can, I'll text you. Okay, there's no text yet. I don't think. Perfect. Okay, but Jessica said she had a few questions about my business, and I think I've been getting a few people asking me, like, so what do you do? Let's see here. There's a question, I think. Where are you located? See, I'm getting this a lot. People are emailing, and I'm getting this a lot. Like, are you still in LA? I got a question this morning. Are you still in Arizona? So I'm here in Atlanta. Well, I live in Suwannee, which is like 30-40 minutes north of the center, downtown. But I serve Atlanta, is where I'm based out of. I serve Atlanta. I go to my clients' homes and I set up a table and put out my tools, lay out my tools on a little towel, and I work. And then I use their tub or sink or you know, a mudroom, sink, you know, I basically wherever, but I wash their dog. Um, and then I dry them with my force dryer. I take my force dryer with me. It's called force dryer, but it's a high velocity air dryer. And I take my dryer, dry them, and I do the haircut. And that's what I do. And right now, unfortunately, I can't take any new clients. I mean, it's always changing. Some people fall off the schedule for whatever reason. And so, you know, there's always times where like there's some space that opens up. And there's some weeks that are a little slower than others. So, you know, if you do want me to come to your home and groom your dog, email is the best form. I've been getting some some phone calls and things like that, but I really can't talk while I'm grooming a dog because I really get in the zone. One time I got in trouble with my wife because she was just calling and calling and I didn't pick up. First of all, I didn't hear it. Anyways, so calling me is probably not the best way to schedule. First of all, I don't even do the scheduling. My wife does the scheduling. So emailing me at junthegroomer@gmail.com is the best way to get in touch with me, or my wife, I should say, and get on the schedule. And we do try to get everybody on the schedule. It's just sometimes, you know, if we tell somebody, hey, they called, you know, if somebody calls today and we tell them we can take you April 4th or, you know, April 16th or something, they're just like, whoa, you know, I need a groom now. So that's kind of the thing. But, you know, if you could, you know, if you do want to contact me and you're here in the Atlanta area or, you know, the surrounding metro area, you know, email me about a month or two ahead. So probably, you know, you're going to have to get a groom at your, you know, first in between, and then, you know, just kind of plan for the next groom being with us. But anyways, that's my business. That's what I'm doing right now. And, you know, who knows, it might change. You know, once we get a house closer to the city, then we might do, and then maybe even, you know, start a school eventually. But that's further away. But anyways, Alan Powell, when people should not try to express a gland. Oh, yeah, so the anal glands. I always check anal glands when I do a groom, but I don't always express them, meaning I don't always squeeze and empty out those glands that are at like the 5 o'clock and 7 o'clock position of the anus. And so when you lift the tail of the dog, there's going to be two little bulges if they're full. So if they're full and they're obviously full, then I go ahead and help the guy out, especially if you see your dog scooching, doing like these butt moonwalks and sliding across your floor. You know, it's probably uncomfortable for them. So I go ahead and, you know, empty them out. But if they're not full, then I leave it. You know, even if there's like a little bit in there, you could tell that, you know, there's some in there. If it's not full, I go ahead and just leave it, because I feel like they are glands, and the more often we empty them out, the sooner they tend to fill back up. And again, I don't know that for sure, science, but that's just what I've been told by, you know, people that I do trust and respect. So they're saying that if you're emptying out these glands every 4 to 6 weeks, it gets to a point where every 4 to 6 weeks, these glands are full and you have to empty them out. And sometimes it can rupture, things like that. So I personally don't like to empty them out unless they're full, for obvious reasons. Monica Ortega. Hi, hey Monica, how are you? I'll be in Atlanta at the end of March. I would love to say, oh my goodness, yes, yes. Let's try to meet up for some beer or something. You know, I love a good IPA. Alan Powell. The few instances where we as groomers have to refer to a vet for expressions. Yeah. Oh, that's another thing. Michelle Knowles. She was saying that she believes that groomers should never express anal glands. She was saying because they're internal organs, they're inside the dog's body. Groomers should only be responsible for the skin, the external organ. not the internal organs of the body. So because they're anal glands and they're inside the dog's, you know, they're under the skin pretty much, she's saying that's the vet's responsibility. And so she believes that only vets should express anal glands. So, yeah, and I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. But, you know, when I have a dog and the owner's like, hey, could you help me out? You know, the anal glands are really full, you know, and he's scooting all over my floor. You know, I'll go ahead and empty them out. But that's because I have squeezed a lot of buttholes. No, I'm just kidding. There's no editing that out. That's the thing about being live. Anyways, but yeah, you know, I wouldn't suggest like a beginning groomer that doesn't have a lot of experience. I wouldn't suggest you express anal glands. Unless you have a very experienced groomer showing you, and you're there and they're showing you kind of hands-on how to do it. Daniel Brown, dogs, 3. You know what? It's funny. I'm not sure if you put that 3 there on purpose or not, but it's funny. I do have 3 dogs. You know, Angel, Dexter, and Weemy. So Angel is actually 11 years old now. Dexter is now 8. Oh my goodness, Dexter's 8 years old now, and then I think, right, and then Weemy is now 4. I mean, anyways, wow, it's crazy. Momo, hi, hey Momo, how are you? Alan Powell, would it be bad to name my shop External Expressions? And you know that would make sense because we are expressing the cellular buildup and the pores and the dead hair, the bundles of dead hair out of the dog's skin. We are expressing it out of the skin. So, and the skin is an external organ. So External Expressions probably may be the most accurate name for a grooming shop in the history of grooming shop names. Wow, 3 o'clock already. I started a little late, so I was willing to take a little more questions, but if there's not any more questions coming in, then I'll go ahead and end it here. Thank you guys so much for watching, everybody who watched and was able to participate. I know not everybody has time at these wacky hours. I'm sorry I missed Thursday. But this coming week, I'll really try to make it Thursday at 9, because that does seem like a really good time for everyone. But anyways, and what else was I going to go over? Okay, so in the descriptions, I'll put in the link to Yves Saint Bernard, Tomorrow conditioner, and what else was it? I guess I'll go back and see what we were talking about. Great video. Thanks, Alan. Thank you so much. And actually, you actually made it really great. Thank you so much for joining. Really appreciate that. And thank you, everybody, for the questions. I'll see you guys next week at Thursday at 9 o'clock. Hopefully, Thursday at 9 o'clock is what we'll plan for. And remember, brush more, bathe less. Brush more, bathe less. Thank you guys so much.